there's one thing no one should be doing is living with their ex. And for some reason, this girl decided to tell me this last minute. And I'll say this, it definitely felt like they were still together, even though they consider themselves exes. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name...
Bro, why are you getting into so much detail? Oh my god.
Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy but also really bizarre story. Now, this story all takes place back in my grade 12 year. I was graduating high school, and honestly, I was single as a Pringle. As sad as that is to say, honestly...
Did you just say fucking single as a Pringle?
One thing was for sure was that there was no possible way I was gonna get a high school sweetheart. You know, like the girl you graduate with and still...
Aren't you the one that... Let's see how many videos you have. Also, this man's got 1.1 thousand he has probably had like 1,000 kids he forgot.
Basically stay together with throughout college. Yeah, definitely wasn't happening to me. So me knowing that I was a little bit desperate, I remember I was scrolling through one time on my social medias and something...
We can tell by bro's content he is fucking desperate.
Insane happened, where I ended up seeing a girl graduate before me, and she was one of the hottest girls that used to go to my high school. And I remember when I saw her on my feed, I decided to scroll through her page, and I saw that she recently became single. Now at this moment I was really surprised, and I'm like, wait, what? There's no possible way, because this girl used to have a boyfriend that was like really close to her. Like they were dating for like 2 years straight, and they were like the ideal high school sweetheart couple when we were back in high school. So for them to break up was really bizarre and super out of the blue. But me knowing that she became single recently and that she's, you know, maybe a year older but she's more mature than I am, I decided to hit her up. I ended up messaging her saying, yo, how you been? Oh, like I've been good, what's up? It's been a while and I just want to see how you've been doing, you know, with everything.
How the hell you remember all the details? Bro, like you're like 24 something years old right now. How do you remember all the details, bro? That's really...
Oh, I mean, things are all right. Me and my boyfriend, like, recently broke up. So, you know, things are kind of weird. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. It's not that bad. At that moment, I decided to talk to her about, like, you know, moments we had back in high school. You know, basically reminisce the old days, even though that's basically what my whole channel is about. And then one thing led to another. I remember it got to the point where I ended up asking her. So, like, I was just wondering, do you want to, like, maybe, like, go catch a movie sometime? Oh, I mean, sure, if you want. Okay, cool. What time do you want me to get you? I don't know. I'll tell you if I'm actually free tomorrow, and I'll just message you. Okay. For some reason, her saying that was really odd to me, because, like, who doesn't know what they're doing tomorrow? Like, realistically, if you made plans, then, like, just tell me. But if not, then, like, you might as well just tell me if you can't make it or can make it. Like, why would you make it last minute? Kind of causes stress on, you know, me, but some people just don't understand that. Anyways, going on from there, I remember the next day ends up happening, and the whole time I keep checking my phone to see if, like, you know, this girl ended up messaging me saying if I can pull up and basically pick her up to go see a movie. But she didn't answer me until, like, 30 minutes before the movie time, and she messaged me saying, so I'm actually free if you want to, like, you know, come get me. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll be on the way. So at that moment, I took the quickest shower ever, and I drove straight to her place. And no joke, my hair was still soaking wet as I was driving over to her. But when I finally got to her place, she ends up getting inside my car, and me and her started heading towards the movie. We started talking about life and stuff, and that's when I decided to bring up, oh, so, like, I'm just curious, back in high school, you had a boyfriend. Whatever actually happened between you guys? Oh, well, long story short, apparently, like, when he was 19, like, he ended up doing, like, a girl that was 14, and, like, I don't know, it was kind of gross. And, like, there's a lot of other things he did, but I don't really want to talk about it.
Yo, her boyfriend was EDP.
That moment when she said that, I was totally disgusted. Like, I'm sorry, if you're 19 going for anything below...
Bro, you are hanging out with a fucking 12-year-old.
18? Please, call the police. Like, you are severely disgusting, and don't do that, like, generally. But anyways, I got really disgusted that basically this girl was dating a pedophile, and well, one thing led to another. What ended up happening next was pretty wild. Because I remember when we got to the theater and we actually sat in the movie theater, we started watching a superhero movie because, well, who doesn't love superhero movies? But I remember as we sat down in the theater and the movie started playing, I started to realize that this girl was one of those people that would go on their phones during the movie. And the whole time, I'm just, like, curious of, like, who she's texting in the middle of a movie because, like, it's super inappropriate. And the whole time, as I, like, kept, like, kind of, like, glancing at her phone, because, well, I don't know, if you're sitting beside someone that's on their phone, who isn't gonna glance over? Especially when the bright light in a dark room.
So basically, this guy doesn't talk about himself. He only talks about other people. So.
In a theater is happening. And I remember as I looked over, I realized she was texting someone that was named roommate with a heart emoji. At that moment, I was so confused on why you would like your roommate so much. But at that moment, I started to realize that maybe when this girl entered college,
the title is literally my hot roommate.
Cared about deeply. I don't really know what I was getting at there, but honestly, we ended up watching the entire movie, and it was a good movie. And then afterwards, I remember me and her, we started walking towards my car, and she said to me, oh, so like, what do you want to do now? I mean, I could drop you home if you want. Yeah, that'll be cool. Do you want to come over? At that moment when she was inviting me over, obviously I said yes, because any girl that invites you over after to her place means that you're basically in. So I remember I ended up driving straight back to hers, and I was actually kind of speeding from excitement, obviously. And when I parked the car in front of her building, I remember she ends up...
Nah, bro, you're not speeding. You just have an adrenaline rush. That's
going on her phone and calling someone. And when they picked up, she went, hey, so like, I'm having a friend over, so like, you don't mind, right? And as I was just sitting there like waiting for like her roommate to respond, I ended up hearing a guy's voice going, oh yeah, no, I don't have an issue with it, babe, don't worry about it. And at that moment, I kind of just froze in my seat, because like, who calls the roommate babe? Like, what? I don't really know, but honestly, at that moment when she hung up the phone, she looks over at me and says, okay, come on, let's go. Inside is what I said. Yeah, why wouldn't we go
It would just be funny
inside?
if you got cheated all the time.
Your roommate's there, and I don't want to like, you know, make things awkward. Oh, it won't be awkward. Don't worry. I do this all the time. Really? Is what I said to her. And at that moment, she was kind of embarrassed that she said that, but then we ended up just getting out of the car, and I ended up going inside her building. When I went inside, I remember we ended up going to her apartment, and when she unlocked the door, I ended up walking inside, and me and her went straight to her bedroom. We sat down. She had a TV in her room, so we ended up watching
I gotta say this again, bro. Why is he so in detail?
Other movie, and we started basically like, you know, cuddling on the bed until out of nowhere, I ended up hearing a guy enter into the apartment saying, hey babe, I'm home by the way. I know you have friends over, so I won't bug you guys. I ended up looking at the girl right away, and this girl ends up covering my mouth and saying out loud, okay babe, yeah, we're just watching a movie, so like, don't disturb us. Okay honey, whatever you say. And that's when I look at this girl and say, you have a boyfriend? No, he's not my boyfriend. He's my ex, but like, we live together. What? So at that moment, I was really puzzled and confused on what in the world was going on. So right as I was thinking about an escape plan, this girl ends up having...
I can't tell who she's cheating her, but I feel like all these stories are kind of
other plans, and me and her end up doing the Devil's Tango. It was the most silent Devil's Tango I've ever had in my entire life, which to be fair, is kind of crazy. Afterwards, I remember from there, me and this girl, we end up basically finishing up, and this girl has to go to the bathroom. So I'm kind of just like standing there, and right as this girl opens the door, I end up hiding myself under her blanket. I was super like scared and embarrassed, and then that's when I ended up seeing that her boyfriend, or I guess her ex, that's also a roommate, ends up going into the bathroom with her saying, hey babe, can I join you in there? Right as he heard the shower turn on. At that moment, when I ended up realizing that they were both going to take a shower together, that's when I decided to get the hell out of there. And I remember I ended up getting all my clothes, putting all my clothes on, and I literally sprinted out of that apartment. I even remember hearing the guy...
What the fuck, were your clothes off? It's
going, wait, what? Who just left? Right as I closed the apartment door, and I sprinted out of there so quick, got in my car, and drove straight home. At that moment, I remember as I was driving home, I ended up getting a text message from the girl that I took to the movies, and she ends up texting me saying, oh, like,
the one you had the gay Devil's Tango
honestly, Baba, like,
with,
it was super nice having you over. Honestly, like, I gotta understand it's really confusing and stuff. And that's when I told this girl, honestly, I feel like you either cheated on your boyfriend or you're just straight up psychotic. Like, who lives with their ex? And yeah, she ended up blocking me because, well, it was pretty clear that I was way more mature than her, and this girl definitely had some special needs that were not just my eggplant. But anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys press that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys. I remember once
yeah, guys, we're not reacting to this next one, guys. I'm already about to puke.